Holly Alves. I'm our Vice President of Operations and Membership here at the San Maria Valley Chamber, and excited, Rachel, to be with you today to have this chat.
Same, excited to rock. My name is Rachel Porter. I'm the executive director for the West Seattle Chamber of Commerce in Washington State.
Awesome, and both 40 under 40, which is really exciting. Yeah, both I think both were surprised, but also excited to get that recognition. So, Rachel, what was a recent moment that reminded you why you chose this field in the chamber industry?
Such a great question. And I know off the top, we do a community activation event called the West Seattle Glass Float Hunt. And I was able to be undercover in a member business that had a float hidden. And I was there when the family discovered it, and to see the joy and the happiness and the excitement of the business as well to get a new customer, a family-based repeat customer coming in. It was huge. And just to see that human connection from something that the chamber had put on was really heartwarming and reaffirming professionally, but personally too. But same for you. My question actually is more, what is one moment in your career that changed how you see the role of chambers?
Kind of to your point, like it goes back to the people and the impact.
Mm.
And, I remember when I first started at the chamber wanting a marketing job. My background's in marketing and they asked me if I knew what a chamber did. And I had no idea. Like during the interview, just flat out like couldn't answer the question was, not great, but, kind of fell in love with chamber work,
Mhm.
as I worked at the chamber for a number of years. But really, kind of my initial thoughts of seeing Chambers as this good old boys club, this business serious kind of membership thing, and then really as I got deeper in my career, understanding it's really about the people and the impact and the community we serve, and seeing those little moments like you referenced with the float and everything, the ways we can really change the trajectory of
Mhm.
people and that sort of impact. And so. I don't know if that really answers the question, but yeah, for me, just those
It
moments
does.
and
It absolutely does. And I relate. There's so much humanity in what we do, and seeing things work well and seeing people happy and seeing businesses and communities rise. It never gets old.
yeah.
We got to look for the glimmers in this day and age. We got to find those good moments to get us through all the spreadsheets and all the meetings that never end. It's that human connection, I think, that keeps driving me. What's a question that you wish more chamber peers would ask each other?
I would say when the job gets tough, what do you lean on to get you through those tough times? Is
Mm.
it people in your network? Is it looking at other wins? I think understanding because this work is, it's not for the faint of heart, and I think you have to love it.
Mhm.
And there are those challenging times. We were just talking this morning about Brene Brown and the quote from I think Theodore Roosevelt about being in the arena, right? And the critic, it's not the critic, it's the person in the arena doing the work. And
Mhm.
we serve a lot of people, so we have a lot of critics. And how do other chambers kind of navigate that?
A question for the books, I tell you.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I wonder that too, and I think I ask everyone all the time, like how do you get through it, especially smaller chambers, because it seems like your chamber it's a bit bigger. You've got a bigger
Mhm.
community, and my chamber is a smaller neighborhood focused chamber of commerce, which is great, but it can sometimes feel a little in a bubble.
Right.
And navigating that too, and connecting us to the outside city and to the state resources and county resources. And I definitely feel as a small staff, pulled in so many different directions. But like you said, you can't be everything to everyone, but you can be in the arena. And I think that's what counts.
Yeah. And I love that, Rachel. And I was so curious to ask you too, as a smaller staff and still making such an impact in your community, how do you kind of prioritize and what keeps you driven in those challenging times?
Oof. I think there's just an inner fire and there's a passion for this industry. I've been in the chamber industry since I was a very cool teenager in my hometown in Pennsylvania on the Great Lake. And I wanted to know I've just always wanted to know how it gets done. How are people doing anything? Like, put me in. And so I volunteered as an ambassador and worked my way up. And so I've been in the industry since my teens. So I've really been plugged into what a chamber can do, community development, economic development. What does that actually mean? How do we utilize that? How are we bringing people in? How are we connecting resources? And that makes me so fiery and so passionate because it's almost like a puzzle. And I love to figure things out. I definitely drink wine. I definitely, I have an adorable dog. I walk him around, So I just find like moments of peacefulness when I can be outside and I just kind of give it to the wind, because it can be a lot. Our community is around 80,000 plus people. We are adjacent to Seattle. We're separated from a bridge. Let me tell you, when that bridge went down, we called it the accidental island, and we had to pivot. What do we do as a community that's kind of annexed from resources and outside development? And it really shifted the bootstrap mentality of like, this is what we have. We need to make the most of it. What can we do here? So we have that, and kind of breaking that open again as a result of like the trauma of the bridge going down and the isolation. Now we're like cracking it open and like, no, we are connected to the larger community while still keeping that small identity. So it's a balancing act, but hey, where would we be without outside walks and gorgeous trees and Puget Sound views? We're pretty lucky out here for the gorgeousness of the PNW.
Yeah, that's awesome. And to your point, about unplugging too, it's so important, I think, in this industry to take that time to, like just get outside or unplug for
Hmm.
work. I think that having that balance and
Yep.
and those boundaries is so important.
So important. It can't be the only thing that fills your cup. It can give
Right.
you, it can fill it, but it can't be the only thing. And not letting yourself burn out, I think, comes with age.
Yeah.
But hey, if
Yep.
Gen Z and younger are getting on top of it, yes, that's just my biggest thing. I felt burnout before. I've had to take time, and navigating those boundaries is everything. What would the younger version of you be surprised to learn about your work today?
It's funny because I just celebrated, gosh, when was it? Monday or Tuesday, 10 years in the industry. And so
Congrats.
thank you.
Wow.
I've been reflecting back on, just my career so far. And
Yeah.
so be surprised to learn about myself. I probably honestly my leadership capabilities and how much I've become passionate about helping others find their own leadership journey and developing in this industry. And the mentors and the coaches I've had through this industry who've done that for me and now being able to pay it forward in that same way for others has been incredibly rewarding. I think especially the last year or two, I've seen that transition in my career where I've become that person for other people. And I don't think I anticipated that happening maybe this early on. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
yeah. So that's been really cool.
Yeah,
And,
that's incredible. And supporting other people in their journeys is that really adds up. Wow. Great question. How am I
yeah.
supposed to follow that?
Well,
Well,
yeah, I was gonna
geez.
say for you, Rachel, because you've been, I won't, I won't ask you to give away your years if you don't want, but it's, like it's an impressive tenure you've had in this industry, and I'm sure
Yeah,
you're a wealth of knowledge and yeah,
it's a passion for sure. But what would my younger self say about the work today? That you can do it. You can do
Mhm.
it. You don't have to be ready. What is ready?
Yeah,
Just go and trust yourself, and you can get there, and you can do it, and keep going. That's what I would tell my younger self. I wouldn't tell her a lot because she's bold and doesn't listen, but that is, if I could get it through to her, yeah, just do it. Do it ready, do it tired, do it scared, do it anyway,
yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. And often we are so much more qualified and ready than we think we are. Um,
Yep.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
taken that leap, right?
it is. Yep. Bias towards action, as our CEO always says.
Oh, okay. I'm going to use that. That's great. What does it mean to be named 40 under 40?
You know what? I'll let you answer this one first.
I'm ready. I couldn't be
Go
more
for
excited to answer this question, truly. Um, it's absolutely an honor. And it's an honor personally, but it's an honor I carry for my community as well. I've lived in this neighborhood for over 11 years, and I love it. And it is such a huge place in my heart that to be honored for the work I'm doing for it, it has transcended my wildest dreams. I am so honored and touched, and I feel validated because I have put my nose down and just hustled and really have been working in this role. I've been in this role for almost 3 years at this point. So, it takes time. And I'm really excited for my next chapter post 40. And I knew I had to get in before I had to hit that age limit. And I feel like I snuck in and I got it right before I can't anymore. So that kind of is giving me courage and excitement for the next decade and the next chapter. And I'm just really grateful that I worked as hard as I did to be able to receive that honor in time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
How about
I
you?
love that. And I love hearing throughout this whole interview, Rachel, the passion you have and the fire you have is really inspiring. Like I can feel that energy from you, which is, I love that so
I
much.
can't put it out, and so I feel lucky to be in a role that I can utilize it and kind of put it into a structure. But thank you. It's a passion that does not sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I think for me, I want to say ditto that what, everything you said. And I think too, being recognized by ACCE, by such an established and
Hmm.
incredible, organization amongst peers, as I kind of, did my LinkedIn stalking of the other peers in our 40 under 40 group and the things that they've done, the impact they're making. Yeah, it felt really cool to be included in that group of so many really, really talented young people who are also up and coming in this industry. Yeah, it's just flattering, I don't like you'd
Yeah.
kind of referenced before, we don't get into this work to, get recognized for what we're
For
doing. We
the
get into it to,
accolades.
to make
Yeah.
an impact. And so when you do get those sort of, recognitions, it catches you off guard. So definitely very, very exciting.
Absolutely. And I think to your point about mentoring the next generation and mentoring people too, I think that all kind of factors in because it's such a diverse group of people who are named 40 under 40 nationally across so many different chambers and communities. And it's an honor to be among them. And it makes me feel like, yeah, we can do this. We're doing it. Look at us go. So it to your point, ACC is just the gold standard for the chamber industry. So to be involved and to be included, I can't wait to see who's coming up next year. But I'm going to ride this year till the wheels fall
Sure.
off.
Oh yeah.
This is
Oh
my
yeah.
40 under 40 year, so we're doing it big.